gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just puts your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the Morning Shake with me, your host, Xavier Hendricks. But my co-host is not available today. I don't know where he is. He didn't tell me that he's not coming. But don't worry, don't fear. We do have the other co-host from the Wednesday warm-up, none other than Leandra Boy. Since what's happening today, Lee?
Hi. How's it? It's going well. My voice sounds a bit husky now. I don't know what it is. Last night we went out, we celebrated Justin's birthday, so I was singing because it was at a karaoke bar, karaoke Kong. But before that even, I don't know, is it the hay fever or whatever, but it normally becomes like this with postnasal drip. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it messes with you.
So if I do sound a bit croaky, excuse me. I'm not in puberty. My voice isn't breaking and anything like that. But here we are, Xavier. We are here on a Monday morning.
Facts.
Super cloudy outside. Is it going to rain today?
It looks like it's going to rain. On Saturday was like a hella storm. Eva went to go close the door and the door pushed her back.
What?
I'm like, yo, what's going on now? She's like, Teddy! She's like holding the door's pushing her back. Because there was this wind that happened. I don't know where that wind came. It was like, started shaking the roof, shaking everything. The trees were, things were flying off the trees. I was like, yo,
Jesus is coming.
is coming.
We are ready.
But on a serious note, it is getting closer to the end times, and a lot of things that the Bible does depict is busy happening as we speak in real time. Everything that's busy going on in the world with the new world order, with the one world order, with what's going on with the wars and rumors of wars. These are all found in the book of Matthew. It's all found in the book of Mark. It's all found in the prophetic books like Daniel, like Isaiah, like Revelation. These are all found. So if anybody wants to know why the things that are happening now is happening, the best answer that you're going to have is the Bible. And I know that Andrew Tate always speaks about the Matrix is coming and there's this fight between good and evil and so he recently switched over to being Islam, right?
Yeah.
And I actually want to I sent him an email, I told you the other day, and he actually replied. I want to send him an email to say that nothing against Islam, but one of the books that will actually dictate to you step by step why what's happening is actually the Bible.
And confirm your matrix.
And confirm what the actual matrix is actually all about. It's not even really a conspiracy per se, but the angle that he's going is not the angle that's actually happening. It is what he is getting right. He says that there's a fight between good and evil. That is getting 100% right because there is a fight between good and evil, and the time is drawing closer. And the Bible says that how come is it that you can see that you can dictate or try to predict is the word, yes, whether it's going to rain or whether the sun is going to shine, whether this is going to happen, whether that's going to happen. But you can't predict the signs of the times. And he says, and so clearly I'm setting to you in the Bible, this is the signs of the times, that this is going to happen, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Yeah. Then people say, yeah, but there's always been wars. But it's not as in your face as it is now with Russia, with what's been going on in the Middle East, what's been going. It's like becoming more like it's in the news all the time. It's in your face all the time. When you switch on your computer, you see there's always been wars, but it's never been the way things are happening now. Plagues, sicknesses and diseases. That will be the weather changing. It's not it's not climate change. It's the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation could have told you 2,000 years ago about climate change. It has nothing to do with climate change. Don't let the scientists fool you. Because they try and come up with why things are happening, but they try and move away from God and away from the Bible. But if they actually read the Bible and understood that, they actually could have seen a long time ago that what's happening now is actually things that the Bible was speaking about more than 2,000 years ago. It has nothing to do with climate change. Revelation told us long ago that the weather was going to act up as soon as it comes to signs of the times. So these things are happening long time ago before. And ladies and gentlemen, our two late guests, he's rather putting fire emojis here.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins? Bless up to the world. It's your boy Jay Paris. We coming to you live on this beautiful, chilly Monday morning.
Raining outside.
Raining outside, but it's beautiful weather, bro.
Yeah,
It's good to be here. It's a Monday morning, new week, new blessings, new mercy, new grace. Let's go.
The problem with this weather is you need to be at home, man. Under a blanket, man.
Nah, but then you're like
I'm quite
lazy.
productive in this weather.
I also vibe. I also vibe with this weather. I do
Facts,
vibe with this
bro.
weather.
I'm quite productive.
And then of course Mr. Jesse Hendricks. What's happening there, my brother?
We don't
Hola.
hear you. We don't hear you.
I'm not here.
There
Oh,
we
there
go.
you
Am I here?
Yeah, you
Hi,
learn.
yeah.
Huh?
Hola, eta, away.
Which country is that from?
I'm not sure.
That's
It's been
South
an interesting
African,
World Cup, though, bro. What do you think about
Oh man, you
you know
come
what?
with your different stories.
It's
Belgium-
extremely
Belgium lost year.
Belgium took a L yesterday.
Yeah, bro.
Spain, Germany drew. If Germany's not careful, they could be out of the group stages.
Nah, facts, bro.
But my money's still on Brazil.
Brazil plays today. They don't have
They don't have
talisman,
Neymar, yeah.
Neymar.
Unfortunately, man's getting injured every World Cup. If you're too good, what can we do?
Nah, facts. But what do you actually think about?
I'm
kidding.
I'm just waiting for you to
Yeah,
finish. Welcome.
Come
Get
late,
back.
come late and take over the conversation.
Just wrap the hook. So the conversation is about Elon Musk. Mask.
Kom hier met
Elon
jou
Musk.
COVID regulations, man.
Elon Musk, and his disruption in the political kind of spectrum, and in like this whole lockstep that's been going on. So basically what lockstep means is that a group of people come and they call it the G20 summit. I think it is the World Leaders Summit, where they come together and they say, all right, here's the order of the day. You, South Africa, go tell your people to wear masks. They can't be out at this time. They can't do this and this. You, America, go tell this. You put it in the social media. You put it in the news. You do this. You do that. You do that. And that's called lockstep, which means everyone must sing the same song from the same hymn sheet. And that's why you saw everyone singing the same song from the same hymn sheet. This is the amount of people that died. This is the new numbers. This is the lockdown. This is the thing that you must do. And so now, we were speaking about it earlier, and just before you guys came in, we're speaking about how Andrew Tate was saying the Matrix is against people and blah, blah, blah. And I was saying that he now converted to Islam. But if he actually took Christianity a little bit more serious, he would have realized that these things are in the book of Isaiah. These things are in the book of Daniel. These things are in the book of Revelation. These things are in the book of Mark. The signs of the times, the end times, that these things are going to start happening, right? And that's why we see the things that we're seeing, and the rumors of wars and the situation with the plagues and the sicknesses and diseases going to different countries and all that stuff. That's why the things why what's happening is happening, because the book of Revelation predicted these things more than 2,000 years ago. In fact, God warned us about these things more than 2,000 years ago. So if these things scare you, the best thing you want to do is actually move closer to Jesus, because when you're there, you don't have to stress about these things. You don't have to worry about these things. But our job and our responsibility is still to tell people about Jesus, because he's going to come soon. There will be a day, sometime soon, where you'll hear, the Bible says you'll hear a trumpet sound. It will be pa, 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 pa. It will be a loud trumpet. The whole world will hear it. Everyone will hear it at the same time. And the clouds will part, and it will be bright, brighter than the sun. And down shall come the King of Glory, and he'll come down on his
your Lord
throne.
and Savior of my life. So sorry for this, sorry for that, sorry for that.
Too late. And God will come down and he'll yeah, big facts. And he'll take all his children, and then there'll be what's the time period they will be? I think it's the 12 years or something. Can't remember the time period. I haven't gotten into eschatology in a while. But then there'll be a period of suffering and blah, 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 blah. And if you endure that period, then you go to heaven.
You can't die, bro.
Yeah, where you can't die. 7 years, you're right.
Where you can't die, bro.
And
like
that will happen. So everything that's happening now is literally leading up
and
to
you
that.
need the chip to survive.
You need the chip to survive, which is why they're bringing in this thing where every country must all fall in lockstep. Every country must force the people to take vaccines. Every country must force them. Otherwise, you can't travel. You can't buy things. You can't buy. That's the same thing the book of Revelation speaks about when it speaks about the mark of the beast. You can't buy anything. You can't travel. You can't. So it's not far-fetched. Yeah, it's not this pie in the sky mystery thing. It's literally happening before your very eyes as we speak.
We're actually gonna create like a COVID card.
Exactly. Not even we're gonna create. Even now, if you want to travel, you must now say if you've been vaccinated, you've this, you've been that. And so they're slowly implementing this idea of you can't move without our say-so. And it's becoming very, what's the word of the North Korean leader?
Communistic.
It's becoming very communistic. So the conversation is today, and I want to toss it out here and start asking around the table. my point of view is that Elon is disrupting the whole thing because now they can't just lockstep and say, COVID, go put it. Now Elon opened up the whole thing to say, what about this? What about that? What about this? Come the doctors, come the lawyers, come the scientists, come and tell us what's really going on. And now it juxtaposes the narrative now. It's messing with the narrative. Because remember when you said, but isn't this just like a flu? Banned. But can't you just take this? Blocked. But
the
people are not. But the vaccines is killing people. Blocked. The vaccines is causing blood clots and giving people heart attacks. Blocked. Now Elon says, hoop my julle geblokkery. Come, let's hear what the real story is. How do you think, I'm tossing it up in the air and anyone can jump in it or jump onto it. How do you think this is messing up with the status quo here?
Yeah. So, Elon has always been a controversial figure, both in business and now in pop culture and politics. And a lot of people, they know him to be a genius. And so from a business perspective, we mustn't underestimate that the things that he's doing is business orientated. It's not just to krap mense om. It's not just to make people nar. It's not just to mess with the G20, with the world leaders, with the one world order. Although also don't undermine the other fact that he is crapping people om and he's making raras among the pop culture narrative. But from where I see it, I think that it can go both ways again. For me personally, it's still new, right? He's only been in for how long? 2-3 months now, as Twitter's new. About 2 months. When was it? Wasn't it the end of October?
Yeah. So about a month.
End of October, I think. Anyway, so it is still new. One should still see, and this is the thing that even with presidents, this is what I say. We get excited for a new president or whatever. Oh, he's better than the previous president. In our own country, we're like, oh, dankie for Cyril Ramaphosa. Zuma was the worst, ne? And now we like, bring Zuma back, kind of a thing. So that's the reason why
Zuma wouldn't have had lockdowns. Or even if he had it, we weren't going to worry about it.
So that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm skeptical to say, oh, wow, I'm so happy about it. Look, I am happy that there's somebody that is challenging the general status quo. Like, everybody's going that lockstep mentality. I'm glad that there's somebody that's challenging it, and it's somebody that has the financial muscle to do so. Because remember, money talks. Money is the most powerful thing right now because you can throw your money around and throw your orders around with it. But like I'm saying, it's still early days. I first want to see exactly what is he going to do. There's a lot of things that we hear. There's a lot of, apart from the fact that he's now, challenging the status quo and that kind of a thing, he's dismissing people. He is firing left, right, and center. He's introducing paying for blue checks, and apparently he wants to introduce things like gold checks and all these different things. Premium. Again, from a business maverick perspective, that is something that I'm keen to see where that goes to. But I like the fact that there is somebody, that's what I can say now in the beginning of his reign. I like the fact that there is somebody that is like, guys, gaan julle met julle woke rubbish. We are here to, since when must we be cancelled every left, right and center? What's a block party is die? And so I like the fact that there's somebody that's doing that, because most people, even celebrities, you see Hollywood, they backpedal on what they first said. Like, maybe they say, no, but I don't agree with this, or whatever the case may be. Then they backpedal when the pressure becomes a bit too much.
The pressure becomes much when their money is being threatened and all this. Like,
and Elon's the kind of guy. Elon he's got a very similar, I'd say, temperament to Donald Trump, and that's the reason why it's that FU kind of mentality, like, go jump, And I think that you need that. I think that because a lot of the times we hear about democracy, but there's no real democracy, because it is like communism. One group of people say this and everybody goes with that, because the minute you step out of line, you get cancelled, you get called this, you get called that, you get called all the names and all the you are discriminating against
you
1, 2, 3.
Phobic of this and you are phobic
and so it's important to have that opposing discourse in a healthy manner in that setting. I'm not just talking like commoners. I'm talking about playing in that field, the millionaires and the billionaires that can say, no, we don't agree with this. And if you're not going, and you can't want to just cancel left, right, and center. And the fact that Elon Musk bought Twitter. For me, Twitter, I told you, I don't like Twitter. Twitter's toxic. Twitter's like
But
old
for me
toilet.
personally,
So I'm glad that there's somebody like that. But now also, I want to see now where is this guy going
But
to?
for me personally, I was more liberated. Like, I think part of the reason we also got so many people watching us, because I actually posted this on Twitter. I felt more liberated now again to post back on Twitter, because I felt like, okay, now the LGBT community is not just going to come and block me. Or the COVID community is not just going to come and block me. There's now room at least for conversation now. Okay, right, can we at least have this conversation now? Can we at least open up the conversation and have this chat, as opposed to just, you can't say that, block, delete.
Yeah.
It's like, so now I feel more, actually, personally, I feel like, okay, now I can at least say something. And at least now we can have the discourse, which originally was always supposed to be the plan. We were supposed to have discourse, not just, this is the way it should be, and whoever doesn't agree with it, blocked. Anyways, just you want to hop in there,
bro,
Jay, you want to hop in there?
Yeah, bro. As much as there's many people against him, bro, there's many people for him for what he's basically doing. And like you're saying, bro, Twitter's getting back to its originality, where people could voice their opinion, bro. And I mean, Trump is back. Kanye's back, and
I want to get on.
Trump say that he doesn't
want to jump onto that Kanye vibe.
They
And
just,
Kanye's back
they just unbanned him, but he's not using.
But going on what you were saying, bro, about the whole, like, LGBT and so forth on, I think there's a general energy in the air where people are starting to stand up. I mean, even if you see, when you see even with the World Cup in Qatar, how they're actually standing for their rights, their beliefs, and what the country stands for, where they're not allowing the captains to wear the colorful, the rainbow armband. So I think in general, bro, and it probably started from this whole Twitter thing and Elon to show these people that, if you stand for this and so forth on, we there to hear. We there to hear what you have to say. It's not just one.
I think it started with the Daily Wire. They started really pushing. And then Jordan Peterson got a lot of momentum. Then Andrew came and kind of did what Jordan was doing, but for the younger generation. Like, yeah, man, we don't agree with us. You can't come tell us if we don't want to listen. And then when Elon did that and brought all those players back in onto the field and said, all right, gents, come. Here's a game. Let's play a game. Here's a platform. Let's continue playing the game, because they can't just block us if they don't like what we're saying. Let's come back. That gave more of a voice. Jezo, jump in there, bro.
Yeah, so for me also, it can go two ways. So either people just don't agree and they run away from Twitter, and because nowadays people
bro,
just
the people
go,
that doesn't agree on Twitter speaking about why.
Yeah, but then again, you also need to understand that those people, they affect this one and they affect that one, and it's like a fire that just runs loose. And because you see it with the World Cup. Sorry to go back to the World Cup. You see it with the World Cup. People that you've never ever seen post about this stuff. It's so much. Qatar is unnecessary. Why would they do this? Everyone has rights. What? My thing is, we know Qatar has been like that for all these years. We know you
all
can't
the Middle
show.
Eastern countries,
Yeah, you can't show affection in public. You can't drink in public. All that type of things. So why is it a surprise all of a sudden? But now going back to Elon, it's like, okay, it can go either two ways, like I said in the start. Either it works out very well for him, or he runs the stock like Meta, where it keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, because advertisers are also starting to pull out of Twitter now, all that type of things, because they're not agreeing with what he's doing. But then again, I think what makes Elon is the fact that he just doesn't care. So if you pull out, chances are he's going to start another advertising company, bring his own people in, and just continue pushing.
Which is what he's doing now. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that came back to Twitter. There was an increase in Twitter users. People were like, thank you. Now we can say what. Okay, right, just come back. It's free again. It's free speech again.
So for me, it's literally just that two ways that he can go. It's either he runs the stock down, or the stock just keeps climbing. But personally, I feel like that stock's going to keep climbing, and Twitter's going to keep on doing well, because we know Elon for being Elon, and we know that he has, like Lee said, he has the financial backing to do such stuff. So he doesn't need to rely on anyone. Whereas if you're a small cat, you have to still rely on this one and that one. He doesn't care. He can fire you like he wants to. He can bring his new people in, and he can continue moving forward.
But Jay, before you go into the comments, but just to jump on what you're saying there, part of why I think it's gonna work is because you'll be surprised, bruh. Majority of the people don't agree with the LGBT agenda. Majority of the world, our 8 billion people, the majority of those people don't agree. And the majority of those people didn't like the lockdowns. Majority of the people is actually on the side of truth. But they were so kind of shoved into a corner where it's like you can't say this or you get deleted or you'll get fired, and they attach your bag to it and say you're like, hey bro, I need this money, so come on, just shut up and go with the flow here. But now that the platforms are being open to say that, okay, here's a place for you to say what you're really thinking. Now people are like, it's like, okay, right, seeing that I have a place to say what I'm really thinking, I'm going to come back and say what I'm really thinking. And that's the power of Elon, like you were saying. He doesn't need, and that's the power of Kanye also. They don't need that. They're not worried about, if I'm now not going to get a show, then that's going to eat into my bag. Kanye's like, bro, who cares, bro? I am the show.
They get happy when you leave them. They're like, okay, now I have more space to do what I want to do.
I really wanted to do. Hop into the comments there, bro. I see this is vibing there.
Yeah. So we got Jay Paris, 5 flame emojis. What's up, broski? And we got Joan Horn. Good morning, everyone. Llewellyn is in the comments as well. Good morning, lady and gents. He goes on to say, remember, changes within a management team is normal and expected when a new leader steps in. The new leader needs to ensure that he's surrounded with those who subscribe to his ideals. And then he goes on to say, firing and changing the team was an expected thing.
But also they were saying that team was useless, eh? Yeah. They were saying they were just sitting around on beanbags, not really doing much. They're saying actually reckoning now that the team is more effective now with the smaller stuff.
I was actually laughing because I saw something actually on Matt Welsh's show when he was reacting to this one girl on TikTok that or in TikTok or Instagram, and she posts like a day in the life of a Twitter employee, and all that she does is nothing. She goes to the meditation room, she goes to have coffee, she goes to the games. There's nothing about actual work. And he's like, and you people are complaining to be fired because of your incompetence and because of your laziness. He's like, when did we get to a society, and this is the thing with this, like the newer generation, it's a matter of, you can't move me, try to move me, I will do what I want to do, I'll do it in my time. And yes, there is like there is incentives to productivity and those kinds of things that need to be implemented in organizations. But again, it's like Llewellyn says, and I agree here, it's new management. You would expect there to be changes. It's with any new management like that, because what you do is, the reason why there's new management is because the entity or the organization was failing. It wasn't doing well.
Was failing, I was going to say it was failing. For the past 10 years, it's been failing.
And Elon Musk is known to be a business genius. He creates out of nothing amazing businesses. And one of his most successful businesses is obviously the Tesla and that SpaceX. So
PayPal as also.
And it's exactly, and these are highly efficient businesses, probably the most successful businesses.
Do you know that the
G20?
The reason is also as an issue with that G20 thing, right? Is because they removed Tesla from their stock list.
No.
Because they're saying this one is causing trouble. So now what they do is they either try to assassinate your character to say you did this, you did that, you did this, you did
crazy.
That, or they come for your bag like what they did with Kanye, or they come for your money. Like what they did with Andrew, they block your accounts, they remove your things, they do this, that. What they did with Kanye and with Andrew, where they try to choke you so you can't survive. And when they see that doesn't work, then they try and see how they can cancel you, how they can get rid of you. But unfortunately, the cancel culture is failing. And I said this from the beginning. This is a house of cards going to collapse. And you know who brought that collapse? Who kicked down the first pillar was actually Dave Chappelle. When he came out with that thing with the LGBT, and he said, now cancel me then. And you know who the people who are getting it right are people who are not worried about the money.
They really not
people who are saying, hey man, go do whatever you want. Go fly a kite, boycott my show, come if you want to, stay at home if you want to. Do whatever you feel like doing, man. We'll see how it goes. Those are the people that are shifting the envelope and saying, whatever you do, do it. Because those are the people who know. Majority of the people actually agree with me.
Yeah.
And that's that we must be silenced all the time. Yeah. It's enough now. And then what happened to Dave Chappelle? The people agreed with him, brother. People came to his show. It was full. It was like, he's selling out. Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
but you know what? It's actually like you were saying. It's backfiring. The cancel culture is It's ricocheting on itself, because what you see now, and that's how the Daily Wire actually came about. Because Ben Shapiro, if I'm not mistaken, allegedly worked for another company, right? And again, they were like, they were blocking him because he was like. So again, it's that thing of so. As you calling me as a political commentator to give my political comments, but you are telling me what to say. It's that whole thing that Andrew Tate said about Logan Paul. He's like, the reason why you are saying these things and the reason why you are being chicken about it.
Because you get given a little piece of paper before the show to say, you can't say this, you can't say that.
And that's how, so now what happened, and then what the Daily Wire did is, I think it's Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boeing, if I'm not mistaken, I think they are the co-founders of Daily Wire. And so they started their own...
basically news agency.
Yeah.
Technically, yeah.
Well, it was a podcast turned into an agency because now they've got different departments. They even entered film and television space because they're like, we're cancelling Disney. So now, again, I'm saying it has adverse effects. Now it's against you. So now they've got this cancel segment on their shows and they're like, today we are cancelling so they cancel the woke left, right? They're like, did you see what this one did? Today we are cancelling that. And what happened is now you get advertisers don't underestimate the power of that. You see, this is the thing. The left thinks, the extreme left thinks that they have the financial muscle because they've got Hollywood, they've got politics, they've got
which
Democrats.
They had for a long time. They had that influence.
But now people are like, but you forget about the other people. That's the reason why Trump was so successful in his run to become president, because he was speaking to a group of people that felt marginalized all these years. And they're like, but we are carrying America on our backs.
And we don't agree with these ideals.
Exactly. Yeah. And we are being oppressed. And that's the reason why it became, despite the fact we know that Trump has his, and we're not glorifying the man because he has his flaws. We know that he does push a racial agenda now and then. But the thing is, don't take away from the fact that he speaks to a group of people that felt marginalized. So what the Daily Wire did is now they've got advertisers that I'm talking about like worldwide that decided we like what you are pushing. Now those people are carrying the Daily Wire. So then the other companies were like, we're canceling, we're withdrawing our advertisers, we don't like what you're saying. And they're like, okay, shop, thanks, go, bye. They didn't like, oh, we're sorry. You see that where they're like, oh, apologies, sorry. And even with Donald Trump, Twitter banned him, he starts something new. Because these people, again, I say, they've got the financial muscle to do so. And I think that the extreme left underestimated the power of the conservative right in having financial muscle as well.
And they overplay their hand with the influence that they have in mainstream Hollywood. Because for a long time, they were getting it right.
Yes.
For a long time, people were dancing to the tune.
Yes.
For a long time, people were saying, I just keep quiet, let's just... But now that there's a pushback coming where people are like, stop it now, stop it. You can't keep on just blocking people for disagreeing with you. At some point, when are we going to have the discourse? I wanted to send you a thing the other day. Candace Owens went to go and speak at an event at the university, and she was saying for all these gender major studies students, I'm not gonna say much about you because I don't agree with what you guys are. Then about 4 or 5 like LGBT activists started. We don't want Candace. We don't.
Candace must go.
Yeah. Then 90%, more than 90% of the whole students started getting up and being like, hey. Then they started chanting USA, and then they started telling those people, get out, get out. Then those 5 left. So that's what's starting to happen in real world now. People are starting to say, I think you all had enough now. You all now forced us. You've overplayed your hand now, forcing our children to say that they can be girls and boys and switch between each other. We all know there's only men and women. So stop it with your Z's and Z's and your whats and your whats. This is not real. You can't just wake up in the morning and decide you want to be something. Can we now stop it with the imagination stuff and can we get back to real world here?
Yeah.
And so people are starting to speak up now and saying that, which we've been doing on this podcast since the beginning of time, and which I've preached on stages multiple times, and I've run the risk, and I've had messages come to me via email that you can't say that, you can't say that, and I simply am not going to back down from it. And that's the power. When you don't back down, even the woke mob knows, this is what they truly believe. And to a certain extent, they even respect you for believing, for standing for what you believe. But if you flip-flop like Macy Gray, who said, no, I'm a woman and I'm proud to be a woman. Next thing, she's doing a whole tour of, hey, I'm so sorry. I said that about you guys. And Kevin Hart, same thing. Big tour afterwards. I'm so sorry. This and that. It's like, my bro, don't say sorry. If you believe in this thing, then that's what you believe in. They must respect that. That's what you believe. Same as they expect us to respect what they believe. And stand for what you believe and stand for it. And that's it. Don't keep backing down. And that's why when Dave Chappelle came and said, this is what I believe, that's it. When Kanye West, which is on a bounce of go over to him now, when he came out and said, but guys, this isn't the truth. These are the guys running the industries. These are the guys signing the contracts.
Yeah.
These are the guys doing what they're doing. But now that I mentioned it, now I must back down. But I meant speaking the truth.
Yeah.
And he didn't back down. Thoughts, Kanye West.
Yeah, no. The thing with Kanye West is, again, people are branding him as crazy. People are branding him as, this guy is mentally disturbed, and people are branding him. So, because the thing is, I was discussing this with Father Ali now the other day, and he was saying, the only excuse or the only defense that they have against Kanye is to call him crazy, because they've never really, like when he came out with the whole Beyonce and Jay-Z conspiracy that he was saying, they are involved allegedly. Well, he didn't say allegedly, I'm saying allegedly they were involved in Satanism and sacrifice and blah, 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 blah to get their fame and whatever the case may be. People are just like, by now already, because the narrative has been pushed so far that Kanye is crazy, Kanye is mentally ill, Kanye is not well in his head, Kanye is disturbed, Kanye is bipolar, don't listen to him, don't take him seriously, he does these kinds of things. It's because they've already mechanically generated this ideology surrounding Kanye to make him seem, and this is what they do, and they are supported by big media houses
to perpetuate
that narrative. All of them are speaking. It's like you were saying. I was searching for something the other day. It was on the Nikita Dragon thing. And I wanted to find out what is the real story. Why did the judge make that judgment that she must... Nikita Dragon is a transgender influencer from male to female. And Nikita Dragon was made some nonsense at the hotel or whatever the case may be. And then Nikita Dragon was sent to... the police... obviously kept in custody. And then what happened is, the story was, because there was that video that went viral where she says to the judge, please do I still have to stay here in the men's unit? And then the judge answers, I cannot make that decision because it's not part of my jurisdiction kind of a thing, because the judge was elsewhere. It was virtual. It was a virtual court hearing, whatever. And then, so apparently, I'm not lying to you. I literally scrolled and went, when you just search Google, Nikita Dragon, I can't remember what it was, Nikita Dragon something. Every single headline, the headlines were different, but every single article was exactly the same. Exactly. I'm talking about word for word, which means that their PR team sent out a press release and the entire news agencies ran that press release as is, because what happens is, I've worked in media, I've worked in print media, I was an editor-in-chief in print media. So what happens is, you get a press release, so a company will send a press release. Say for instance there's a launch of a new product, the company sends the press release to you. What you do is you read the press release, and obviously that's the reason why you did comprehension in school. You put it in your own words, you add things to it. So this is the gist of it. This is the key points in the article. Now you make it your own, because not everybody can be saying the exact same thing.
But
And
outside
this
of
is
that,
what
there needs to be
happens.
some sort of investigative journalism. You must now go and check if this is true. You can't just put it in.
Exactly. So now what Kanye does is he goes and he disrupts, again like Elon Musk, he disrupts that entire value chain. And he's like, this is the truth. 1, 2, 3 and the other. Oh, Kanye is crazy. And I heard it. I was shooting at some place on Saturday, and to get the cast warmed up, we played a game of 30 seconds, and on the card it was Kanye West, and they were like, the crazy guy, the mentally ill guy. So already can you see how deeply ingrained that narrative is? Because why? They must paint him that way so that people don't start questioning, but actually what this guy is saying is true. Because
They couldn't say Yeezy. They couldn't say, yeah.
But this is what Father Ali was saying. Father Ali was saying that they've got no real defense. They cannot deny the claims, because they never, when Kanye says certain things about people, do they ever say it's false?
And they can't prove that it's false.
Do they ever sue him for defamation of why not? They can't. So all that they say is Kanye is crazy, Kanye is mentally ill, Kanye is bipolar, don't take him seriously.
Chance, do you think Kanye is crazy?
I mean, he told Piers Morgan, yeah, how much are you worth? And Piers Morgan was like, nah, more than you. And it's like, yeah, so you should be listening to me. So I think based on that, nah, bro, definitely not. I think the way he's maneuvering his moves now, bro, is the right way, because they took him for a puppet, bro, with the previous companies that he was under. All of those ideas was his. So he just got to a point now where it's like, these are my ideas, but you're reaping the benefit off of these ideas. But just in general, bro, what Ye's been doing since, bro, till now, and he's still up there, he's still talked about. He's not crazy, bro. He's a genius, and we had a show about this, bro, crazy or genius. And we got to that point saying, nah, this guy's a genius. I mean, what he's been doing in culture, bro, with music, clothing, business, it's
Politics.
Politics, bro. The guy's a genius.
Cheers.
Personally, I don't think Kanye is crazy. I feel like he acts crazy to stay relevant in a way. So I feel like he knows his moves and he knows what he wants to do and all that stuff. And I feel like he also understands that in today's society, in order for your word to actually mean something, you must still be relevant. So if you fall off the gravy train, no one's really listening to you. But if you stay on top of the whole time and you say something, it's like, yo, did you hear what Kanye said? Yo, did you hear what Kanye said? And that's literally how it is. You walk into the office one and yo, did you see what Kanye said again? You see, and he literally knows how to play his cards and how to stay relevant in today's times and get people talking. Whether you believe it or not, people are still talking about him. And even if you do think he's crazy, the fact that you're still talking about it, it makes you think also. And it's like, okay, maybe he is onto something here. Maybe he's not actually. How many times do we have so sit up and we're like, did you hear what Kanye said? And we're like, but what he's saying is, it's true, it makes sense. And it's not only us that's thinking like that. There's a lot of people around the world that's also thinking like that. And yeah, obviously people will think he's crazy and all that stuff. But for me personally, he just knows how to play the cards perfect. And also with this whole woke culture and everything. Like you said, it's a thingy, a house of cards that's gonna come down soon. Reason being, they contradict themselves every single time. It's like, no, we all need to get along together. We need to say what we feel, what no. Then you say, no, you can't say that, cancel it. It's like, how Mara, the whole time you and they're the biggest people to speak about freedom of speech.
And inclusivity.
And
it's like, but when we say the freedom of speech, you're cancelling us. So does it, where does it even make sense?
Does it only work for you?
Yeah.
And not for other people.
And that's exactly, like, that's why I also brought up in that last show that we done, where they mentioned the blue tick and then they said freedom of speech is now cancelled or something. It's like, freedom of speech was never cancelled. It's just a matter of if you want a blue tick or not. You can still say what you want to say.
Yeah, but
and
they don't have anything really.
Yeah, and they were against Elon for that. Whereas it's like, you shouldn't be against Elon for that because he's actually bringing more freedom of speech now. You should be more excited about it.
Exactly.
Because your whole thing, the whole argument the whole time is freedom of speech. So now you have a more of a say, but now you're fighting more of a say because he said
not what you
$8.
want to say.
Yeah, he says $8 for a tick. Now, and what they always like to do is they like to, this is the bigger picture. They want to point here
Yeah.
at a small dot in the corner and say, yeah, but this is the problem. The tick isn't the problem.
Yeah.
You want to just make the tick the problem now because you're trying to take away from the whole freedom of speech type of thing. No, freedom of speech is there for all of us to have our freedom of speech.
Now
you
it's
want to
actually freedom of speech.
Yeah, now it's
that Elon
really
is-
freedom of speech. But you want to point us to the blue tick as $8 because you're scared of what Elon's gonna do now on the side because you're trying to kill that freedom of speech.
Yes.
But look how hypocritical the left is when the right brought those plane full of immigrants to Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
They didn't want to house them, bro. They said, oh, take us people back to where they come from. So the right was like, oh, but you were the ones, you all were the ones that said, no, we must bring everyone, exactly like the LGBT argument, all inclusive, you can do what you want to
for
be, you can
everyone.
this, you can that. But just don't disagree with what we say. Then there's nothing of inclusivity, there's nothing
And don't
of...
come mess in our space.
And don't mess with our
Yeah.
thought process. So it's like now they drop a bunch of immigrants in Martha's Vineyard. They say, oh, same night, bruh. Planes, bring your planes back. Take us people back to where they come from, please. We don't want them here. It's like, oh,
Because this is our holiday destination.
what hypocrisy is this now? You all are then saying, bring the people. So I think it's getting to the place where it depends on who's saying it.
Yeah.
Because if it was, and here's another thing where I also saw, and the reason some South Africans might be looking as why we speaking about American culture, because American culture is influencing what we do.
That's true.
Since when do we celebrate Halloween?
Yeah.
Now you all saw it on the movies. Now we also saw celebrating Halloween.
Yeah.
Not only that, since when did we want to gender neutral bathrooms and stuff?
Since
That was
when do
never
any
a
of
thing.
these things? We were never about any of these things. But that's why we speak about American politics, because it directly influences what we do.
That's true.
The second America comes out with something, then we must implement it also. That's why I take my hat off for those other African leaders who say, we know this is not our culture. When he told that reporter straight, he said, no, we respect what you guys are doing there in the West. Yes, for you. Respect us what we believe in here.
Yeah.
This is our thing. Don't
And
come and crap
that's
in our
the
slide.
argument with Qatar.
Yeah, I was
That's
about
the
to
same
say,
thing that's
yeah.
happening in Qatar. It's like Jesse was saying. You know that this is morally, this is what Qatar stands for. But instead, what's happening now is that people are making excuses. Can you see now this whole thing again backpedaling? My thing is this, right? There's countries like Iran. There's countries that incident that happened in Iran where one of the athletes went somewhere and she didn't wear the burqa or something
Yeah.
like that correctly. When she came back, they detained her and they killed her because she didn't wear the burqa correctly. On a moral issue like that, you can't stand for that, but you can stand for something like LGBTQ, which is not even really a threat to humanity. They make it seem like a threat to humanity because it's not allowed in those countries. But that's an issue of sexuality. This is a woman, a biological woman that gets killed because of the way because she didn't wear the burqa correctly. But but that's not an issue.
But
That's not a bigger issue than LGBTQI plus rights.
That's my problem with the
This
LGBT.
virtue
They
signaling.
try to connect their struggle to the gender struggle. It's not, or they try to connect it to the race struggle. It's not the same thing, bro. That case that you just cited now, that is a real problem.
That's a threat to women every
That
day.
we can boycott. That we must say, oh, this is not right. This is a woman that you'll want to kill because of a scarf that she didn't. Granted, it's part of your religion. Granted, but is it necessary to kill her?
The thing is,
Give
she
her a
wore
punishment
it,
or
but she
whatever
didn't
the
wear
case
it
might be.
correctly.
And
But
it's
still,
like-
don't kill the woman now.
It's like I had a conversation with Jayus, and for me, it's like when we watch football because we enjoy football. We're not watching it to see a colorful thing here or something like that. So I don't understand why it's also such a big problem that they're not wearing this armband. Yes, you're saying this and that.
It's all
If you
virtue
want it to be,
signaling.
if you want to make a point,
Don't go.
then don't go, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, if you want
Boycott
to
it.
if you want to fight for something that's real. Like support Palestine, put something
Yes,
of Palestine on there,
exactly.
or support something
Where
like
people get killed
where-
every day.
100% or something
Children.
like Ukraine. We're willing to put so much
Just
money into something where people they wake up and they decide this is what I want to be today. where their lives aren't at threat or anything, but we're willing to fight so hard for this thing when we forget about the real issues like your Palestines, like Ukraine that's also fighting with Russia and all these things. But we're willing to boycott for LGBT armband that you can't wear at the World Cup.
Read Andrew's state that he put this morning.
Yeah, Andrew Tate is like, imagine being a normal dude who likes football and now you're being forced to be a massive advocate for homosexuality.
You see, that's
exactly
what
you're saying now. That's what made me think of
we have to watch football, but
now you forcing
now
us
you
to
try.
be now.
And the honest truth is, people are saying, yeah, we're not enjoying the World Cup because of we can't wear it. Don't watch it then. Because if you're watching just to see an armband, you're watching for the wrong reason.
But I hate the disrespect from the West. I hate the disrespect from the West. That same thing that president was saying. We respect the West and we don't meddle in West issues. Why are you meddling in everybody else's?
They're putting a
This is our culture. I mean, going to... That's exactly what you said, Jess. If you're really going to boycott, why go and boost the economy as a tourist going there? Stay away.
Yeah.
Now you want to complain because there's no alcohol allowed. You knew that you're not allowed
It's not a new rule that they put in for the World Cup. It's been there.
That's the thing that I hate. The arrogance of the West that wants to dictate to the rest of the world that this is how you are going to do it and finish and clear. Since when?
And if you don't listen to us, but that's again a dictatorship. What's the word? I keep on forgetting.
Communist.
That's a communist mindset because
draconian.
So what makes that different from what Kim Jong-un is doing in North Korea?
It's not
there. If you don't do this, we block your things.
His daughter. I was so shook because sorry, this is now complete to the left, but. This is the second time we get to see a picture of him and his daughter. So now the whole rumors is that he's trying to build his daughter to be the successor now and take over.
Does he only have daughters?
I don't know, but this is the only daughter that he ever shows. So, and the daughter looks. The daughter looks exactly like him.
That's crazy.
And you know when you watch movies like when you have a communist king and then the daughter is like she's that round chubby, she's literally like that, and she looks like she's gonna be worse than her father. But anyway, sorry to break it. But the people with the whole Qatar thing is they saying no, we all know FIFA got a big check and all that. Then don't blame Qatar.
Yeah.
If you want to boycott anyone, then boycott FIFA because they're the one that knows we're going to Qatar with the World Cup.
And they don't allow these things.
They don't allow. Budweiser is your sponsor.
Yes.
It's an alcohol.
Yeah.
So why are you fighting Qatar if you know FIFA is the ones that's giving people these opportunities to host the World Cup? Yeah. If you want to fight with anyone, you can't fight Qatar. You must go fight FIFA then. You can't be upset at Qatar for their beliefs and the way they believe in doing stuff.
This one guy, his Twitter handle is at... BINNAHAR 85, right? He's a Qatari. And he tweeted this. He says, as a Qatari, I'm proud of what happened. Right? I don't know when will the Westerners realize that their values aren't universal. 100%. There are other cultures with different values that should be equally respected. He says, let's not forget that the West is not the spokesperson for humanity.
100%.
So stop coming into our countries.
Let alone Hollywood or Los Angeles.
The West shouldn't be the ones to want to be talking about morals and
you
values.
Know people are moving out of Los Angeles for moral reasons, bruh. For moral reasons, people are leaving Los Angeles. You know, even people now who are degenerate are saying it's a cesspool of immorality, bruh. Logan Paul and them moved out of Los Angeles. They said that's a cesspool of immorality. People are sleeping around with whoever.
And it's people with no morals themselves.
And you want to be our moral campus? No, bruh, go fly.
But that's how bad you must know it is. People with no morals is saying, no, we need to get out of here because it's no morals.
People who are not even Christian, people who are not even saved, bruh, are saying, this is now getting, this is complete degeneracy.
I'm bad, man.
Bruh, if someone like Andrew Tate, that was advocating for having multiple girlfriends, if he's saying, this is a cesspool of degeneracy, I need to get out of Los Angeles. And he's like, I'm out of here. If someone that's immoral, like you were saying, is even saying, this is now getting out of it. Imagine how immoral it is.
And that's, look, like, again, as a Christian, I respect Andrew Tate for deciding that he wants to be for converting to Islam. Because what he says, you cannot deny the truth of that.
That they stand for what they
He
believe.
says Muslims
More than Christians do, which is
stand for what they. If this is what the Quran is saying,
Then
if
that's
this
it.
is according to my beliefs, I'm gonna die on this hill. With Christianity, we want to be so inclusive,
that we accept anything.
and that's not
everything.
inclusivity. That's not inclusivity. That is making excuses for sin. We're playing around with sin, and this is the thing. That's the reason why I don't blame Andrew for saying, I'm looking for truth. I'm looking for truth that is unwavering. Although I have my reservations about that, and I have my reservations about their theology, but I can't argue with him there. Because when you go to any Islamic state,
if they say they don't stand for something, that's it, bro. That's it.
you might not agree with, again, this Iranian woman that died. You might not agree with the way that they do things, but look how serious they take their religion. Look how serious they take their
Like
religion.
me, I don't
They
agree
will
with that
not
now.
be
They'll even go to that
disrespected.
You see, I don't agree with now killing the woman.
Yeah.
I agree. If you're saying it's part of your religion, let there be some sort of punishment or whatever. But then,
But nah, bro, the fact
but
that
like
they-
a small,
they go
like
to-
a
the
like
fact
a
that they
fine
go-
or something, you know.
The fact that they
But
go
that's
to
why I
that
say
extent.
I don't always agree with the theology, and I
Don't
don't
kill-
always
don't kill
agree
the
with the
person,
way that
yeah.
they do things.
Also, like, sorry, I'm keep going back to this whole World Cup Qatar thing. But
That's fine. It all coincides with the
Let's go
cancel
watch ball
culture
one.
and
What?
wokeness and everything.
like Mike, that's with Logan and all of them. So they had this whole thing in Saudi, where Logan was now obviously at the WWE and all that, and Mike goes with, and he goes and he says that after this whole experience, he says, yeah, we knew when we went there, it's a strict country. He knows you can't drink in public, you can't show off it. But he says the way that, and in there he says himself, he says the way that the West has
Painted
has
them
painted
badly.
them badly. It's like you expect the worst when you get there. You like on edge the whole time.
You expect North Korea.
Yeah, he says, yo, you expect this, you expect
And when
something
you
to happen
realize,
now here. You expect to get locked up for something. But he says when he got back and he said, and he was like, but this was actually one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. He says when you start getting into the culture, when you start listening to the people, how the people interact with you, he says the people are the friendliest you've ever had. He says it's neat and clean. When you go to
Yeah.
a place, people that he's never met before inviting him, come eat with us. After this, you can come to my house. We can go eat at my house after this. He's
Yeah.
like, he had to even tell the people he's what. Please explain to them in Arabic that I can't. I'm busy. I have things I need to do. And he says like the friendliness, the way people embrace you and stuff is on another level. And we willing to just go with what those people are saying about Saudi and all these things because we believe everything they say is right. And that just shows that you can't just believe everything. You're someone that's Western, and he goes into the country and he comes back and he's like, but yeah, our country is actually
But even,
quite pathetic.
Why go there if you know that is, if you are not, in your words,
Yeah.
welcomed there? Why go there? Why? What is this thing of forcing yourself into a situation where
Yeah.
you're not welcomed, right? And wanting to change that environment
but the reality
to suit
is,
yourself.
you know you are welcomed, but it doesn't play
You
in
have
your
to play
narrative.
by-
So now
Yeah.
you must man out.
And it's like I was saying, Jay, when I travel to Brazil and I travel to England, yes, I'm from an international country, but I have to obey their rules. I can't go there and because, let's say, for argument's sake, smoking weed here or something is legal, there it's illegal. I'm someone smoking in the streets now. No, but where I'm from, I can do this. No, I have to obey your rules in your country.
It's like driving on. It's like the typical.
Yeah, I
thing
can't
of,
go
You
there
can't go
and
drive
drive on
now.
the
Yeah, well, in
right
South Africa
side.
we drive
And
on the
you
left.
cannot
It's
deny
like,
that
but-
these countries that have this,
follow their rules.
these countries that are so strict like that, their country is the best countries to live in terms
But-
of safety,
but this is
in
what-
terms of the
Yeah.
environment.
This is what
in
Andrew
terms
said, ne?
of-
Andrew bought that Bugatti watch, ne? I think it cost like $1 million or something. It's the same price as the car, or a little bit less. But it's an expensive watch. And he said, bruh, he said, there's no country in the world that I can wear this watch. Only here in Dubai or in Saudi. Where I can wear this $1 million watch on my wrist and know
No one will
that no one's
disturb
gonna
this.
come and rob me. Nobody's gonna break it off my wrist. Nobody's gonna try and steal it from me. So that other owner in the podcast even said, I can leave my Bugatti unlocked. So we live in a gated, you guys know where I live, in a gated community. And my cousin came there last night, and she comes from a more, like a community like that's not gated or whatever. And so she came in from the Kasi, yeah. So she came in, and she's like locking everything. I'm like, hey, you don't actually have to do that. She's like, no, you must lock. So my car's like standing right next to us. I'm like, she's like, don't you lock? I'm like, open the door there. She opens the door. I'm like, press the start button there. The car starts. She's like, so is the key just in the car? I'm like, yes. She's like, why? I'm like, because there's a Lambo going, there's a Ferrari going, there's a Porsche going. That I was living in a 10 million rand house. Do you really think he's worried about my aval? And so that's the mindset. It's gone to a place where the ideology of how people even reason is like. And that guy said to Andrew in that podcast, is like, I can leave my Bugatti unlocked because I know nobody's going to fiddle with it. Because why? Not because of the mindset or the culture, because their religion is of such that they cut your hands off or you get stoned or whatever. Yeah. So you now want to eradicate. Now, I'm not an advocate for Islam, but you want to eradicate religion and replace it with your immoral moral values. And then you wonder why the country is becoming so, and the world is becoming so degenerate. So we can't eradicate, and we go full cycle back to the beginning of this conversation. And this is why I'm an advocate for Christianity, because that's the only religion. Religion, it's a relationship with Jesus. It has nothing to do with religion, actually, but in the world they view it as a religion. So for the sake of the world, the only religion that will dictate to you and show you step by step why what's happening is happening and what happens after this. It's the only one. Yeah. The Quran doesn't do it. The Indian cultures don't do it. Only the Bible can tell you this is why what's happening is happening and this is what happens next. Yeah. Only the Bible can give you those answers.
That's true.
Anyone, jump in. You still have
4 minutes. 3 minutes. Yeah, no. Look, I like this push and pull, right? And I'm also of the opinion we should have constructive discourse. Not everybody can agree with you all the time. Because when that happens, you start becoming extreme. Now, if people start, that's why I said I want to first see how this Elon thing plays out, because I also don't want him now to become extreme. Pushing a certain narrative, and then it's just back to square one.
One extreme versus the other extreme.
On the thing of freedom of speech, and this is what the platform is all about, right? Twitter. I do, though, however, believe that there needs to be measures in place to control what is said. Because now you have instances like where people are genuinely racist, people are genuinely homophobic.
Like KKK or whatever.
Exactly. And they do incite violence. Because again, it goes back to that thing of a different scenario, but similar thing where you now, the Iran thingy, when you don't go with according to what we stand for, then we're going to kill you. The extreme. This is what I'm talking about.
And the left is waiting for something to happen so they can say, we told you. Yeah. We told you, fan, freedom of speech.
But on that, Jordan Peterson himself, he says that he believes in full freedom of speech. Because his counterattack to that is he prefers you to say what you want to say, really where you can see, okay, this is where this person is in terms of his mindset. You can see, okay, and he says from that's when you can actually start monitoring this person much better now. Whereas if that person has no freedom of speech, it's difficult to understand what they're actually thinking. Yeah. Whereas if they're able to say everything that they're thinking, then you're able to monitor.
But the truth of the matter is, if you in a close proximity conversation with someone, you can sense. I don't know if it's a spiritual thing or emotional thing, but you can sense when somebody is some type of way with you. Like, even if it's just a matter of you coming here, something happened. It might be completely unrelated. You fought with your wife before you came. Bro, why are you so, like, what's wrong? Did I say something that offended you? Why are you so off? That, because you can sense that, why is this person like, there's a resistance kind of like in a spiritual aspect that you can feel like, nah, man, something's off about this person. But online, you can't necessarily feel. So if someone's going to plain down tell you, look here, white supremacy. Then you know what, right? That's one.
Yeah, but again, but then
but
that
you can't
must
allow
be
it
monitored
also,
in a way that there needs to be repercussions because now there was an issue now recently out on the radio this morning of a lady that, again South Africa, that sent out a WhatsApp voice note, I think, and then it went viral where she was saying, don't ban pit bulls, ban black people.
Sure.
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. But can you see what I'm saying? So I'm saying that there needs to be repercussions for that kind of racism. You can't just now also say, spool your back like that and get away with it.
Spook my nut.
Fat may know.
But yeah, pit bulls another story. But maybe we should have a show about it because it's also contentious issue. But yeah, that's the thing. And so back to kind of round everything off, and then everyone can just give their closing remarks. I think I'm for Elon throwing a spanner in the works because the echo chamber of the woke was becoming irritating, where you can't disagree.
It was becoming deafening.
Yeah,
it's too much.
You can't disagree. You can't really say what you're thinking. And let's just be honest. People know that Christians disagree with it because it's part of our religion. It's part of our belief system that I'm not gonna agree. Bruh, you can be angry with me, you can not like me. The truth of the matter, I'm not going to agree with the LGBT. I can't. It goes against my core beliefs. That's just it. Do I love the person 100%? Will I still speak to the person 100%? We've spoken to people a million times and we'll always show that love. But the act of gay, lesbianism, whatever else, I can't agree with it, and I don't agree with it. That's not love.
If you are just agreeing.
If you just agree for the sake of let's keep the peace, but loving the actual person and having a conversation and having discord and having dialogue and going back and forth, we can have that conversation anytime, all the time, no problem.
Your mother doesn't allow you to drink poison because she loves you, so she's allowing you to.
Yeah, she lets you do what you want. But the discourse we can have no problem. But my core beliefs as a Christian, I'm not going to agree with it. There's a lot of things that Andrew even says, I like him, I vibe with him, that I don't agree with. But then allow me my autonomy as I allow you yours.
Yeah, no? Guys?
Closing, Jesse.
Nah, it's been lit, bro. Respect what people's beliefs. And yeah, it's a great show.
Explain.
Yeah, no. Me, I agree with Elon. It's just a matter of time to see what happens there. But I like the fact that he's not agreeing with everyone else. He's unbanning the people, bringing them back to the platform, and allowing them to say what they want to say. So for me, big ups to him on that. And him just standing his ground. I'm happy about that.
For me, my responsibility is to speak the truth. I've been given a mandate as a Christian. It says, go out and make disciples of all men. That's my mandate, and it comes with speaking the truth. It's not my responsibility to try to convince you. It's not my responsibility to try to convince you of my love for you. It's not my responsibility. And it's also not my responsibility on how you interpret that. That's up to your personal conviction. And that's where I'm at in my life. I'm here to speak the truth, not my truth. Because my truth is wavering. One day I decide that I like this. One day I decide that I only like black and white. The next day I decide, when the trends change, that I like neon. So it cannot be my truth. I need to speak a absolute truth, a fundamental truth that does not change. The fact that biology-wise, there's male and female. Yes, there is certain instances where there is a diversion from that norm, but it's abnormal. It's not normal. So I need to speak that truth. I can't want to do it for the sake of being inclusive. That's not inclusivity. That's lies. That's feeding people deceit. So again, my responsibility is to speak the truth. And that's it.
To the best of your ability. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a dope show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everyone that hopped on. Please do subscribe. I see a bunch of you hopped on. Thank you for everyone that hopped on from Twitter. It's nice to have you guys over here. Please do subscribe to our show. We have these discourses. And if you disagree, let us know as well so that you can come onto the show, or we can have you on the Zoom call or whatever, and we can have that conversation. We're open to not just having it as an echo chamber. We can have that conversation, and we can take it from there. And you share your aspects and your points of view. We'll share ours, or I'll share mine, and we can have that conversation. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one. Love you. Goodbye. Morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Tay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.